Catfish the TV show was an MTV reality series that premiered in 2012 as a spin-off of the 2010 documentary of the same name. The TV show investigates online relationships where one person suspects or discovers that the person they're talking to isn't who they claim to be, and using social media sleuthing, phone calls, background checks, and face-to-face confrontations, the series uncovered digital deception, emotional manipulation, and the complicated realities of modern internet identity. Over the years, Catfish has become known for its wild plot twists, chaotic personalities, messy confrontations, and unforgettable characters. And let's be honest, the Black contestants had some of the wildest stories and made the show into the cultural phenomenon it is. And they also unintentionally became icons. From the catfisher who terrorized her own cousin for 3 years over being called a fat-ass Kelly Price, to the ones who thought they were dating their celebrity crushes. While most contestants went on about their lives, some stories didn't just end when the camera stopped rolling. Some turned their 15 minutes into full-blown careers. Others disappeared back into regular life. And a few, well, they're still stirring up drama to this very day. In this video, we're revisiting the wildest Black catfish storylines and contestants, and also diving into the aftermath, how the internet reacted, the memes that exploded, the interviews, the glow-ups, and where each of these infamous contestants are now. The show Catfish always reminds me of one thing. Some people will trust a complete stranger on the internet for 3 years, but won't trust a doctor enough to book a checkup. And I get it. Finding the right person, whether it's a soulmate or a specialist, takes time. But the whole process alone can make you avoid seeking help altogether. But what if there was a website similar to a dating app that makes navigating that easier? That brings me to the sponsor of today's video, ZocDoc. It's a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors so you can finally find the right match. No catfishing, no mystery numbers, and no guessing games. You can filter by location, insurance, or availability, read verified patient reviews, and see appointment openings in real time. Then you just click to book instantly without having to speak on the phone with a rep. Most people get an appointment within 24 to 72 hours, sometimes even the same day. And here is my friend booking herself an appointment through the ZocDoc website after I put her on. She was booking an appointment with a dermatologist because another convenient thing about ZocDoc is that it isn't just for one type of care. Through the website, you can find general practitioners, cardiologists, dermatologists, OBGYNs, dentists, and various other licensed professionals. So head to ZocDoc.com/BlackFemininity or click the link in the description box to find a doctor that truly fits your needs. Now, let's get into these catfish contestants. Season 1, Episode 4, Jasmine and Mike. This episode was the one that truly launched Catfish into cultural relevance. It was the first Season 1 story to go viral, especially on Black Twitter, and is still remembered as one of the most chaotic, meme-worthy reveals in the show's history. So it's only right that I start off with this one. The episode aired on December 3rd, 2012, and follows Jasmine, who had been texting a guy named Mike, a supposed rapper/producer/CEO/model agent, for 2 years, despite living only 15 minutes apart and never once speaking to him on the phone. Anytime she tried to meet, he made excuses, which Jasmine assumed was just because he was still involved with his child's mother. When Neve and Max traveled to Atlanta to meet her, she insisted that Mike was absolutely real, and she refused to believe anyone else was behind the photos. Neve and Max discovered that this Mike page was using photos stolen from a guy named Tyler Jackson, and a girl named Sienna confirmed the real guy was actually engaged with 2 kids. With Mike refusing to video chat, and Triggs, Jasmine's ex, being mutuals with the account on Facebook, suspicion grew that someone close to Jasmine was behind it, but she refused to believe her ex Triggs would do that to her. When they arrived at Mike's low-income apartment, it was clear nothing matched the story of him being a businessman. A girl walked out of the apartment, and Jasmine instantly recognized her as Missy. Giggling and openly delighted by Jasmine's shock, Missy tossed a flower at her and began insulting her and her looks.
You did this for what?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Jasmine broke down and admitted that Missy had also dated Triggs, revealing this was not just a catfish, it was a full-blown love triangle. Missy proudly confessed she created the fake Mike profile to keep Jasmine away from their mutual romantic interest, who was Jasmine's ex, and at least at some point, Missy's boyfriend.
She didn't take my flower. I threw it at her. She didn't pick it up. That's sad, huh?
The argument between the two women escalated to near physical confrontation as they fought over Triggs and the years of drama between them. Missy explained that she became extremely possessive after losing a child as a teenager and finding emotional comfort in Triggs. She claimed Jasmine had been bothering her and interfering with their relationship, so she didn't feel guilty about the deception. Following the episode, Missy's personality, one-liners, and especially her makeup, the gray foundation, sharp eyebrows, and bright red hair, became instant meme fuel. Black Twitter exploded with jokes, edits, and reaction posts, turning Missy into one of the earliest and most iconic catfish antagonists of the series. During a Reddit Ask Me Anything, Nev was asked about the worst cases he'd ever encounter on Catfish and whether he had ever felt genuinely unsafe while filming, and he singled out the Jasmine and Missy episode as both the most unsettling and one of the few times he actually felt in danger. He explained that he and Max had no idea about Jasmine's history with Missy beforehand and never imagined the situation was the result of a personal revenge plot. Nev also said he felt awful for unintentionally placing Jasmine in such an emotionally humiliating and traumatic position and admitted that he didn't feel safe in the neighborhood they were filming in.
Jasmine wrote me on Facebook January 15 and called me a dumb hoe. And I had to check her about that.
I did.
Obviously.
Missy, on her part, reportedly decided to become the legal guardian of her niece. The two women have had no contact since the episode, and both women went on to very different paths after filming. Neither of them ended up with Josh anyway. Jasmine has since welcomed more children and keeps a very low profile. Missy, on the other hand, has been living her life openly as a gay woman and focusing on her entrepreneurial endeavors. She runs a graphic design and printing company creating banners, flyers, and custom branded merch. She's also involved in a side business helping people get housing approval, though whether that's legal or illegal is still unclear. Season 2, Episode 14, Kiana and Bow Wow. Another running theme on Catfish, one that truly became a staple on the show, was people believing that they were secretly dating a celebrity, model, or influencer. One of the earliest and most memorable examples happened back in Season 2, Episode 14. It aired on October 8th, 2013, and Nev and Max received an email from Kiana, a 19-year-old McDonald's employee and part-time model from a small town in North Carolina, who genuinely believed she was in an online relationship with rapper Bow Wow. And right away, we already know what's up here. She said they met when she messaged his Facebook fan page, and he responded immediately. They began talking regularly, though he always avoided video chatting. Nev and Max hopped onto Uvu to chat with Kiana, and she told them the reason she believes Bow Wow is real is because he sent her over $10,000 in the 4 months they've known each other, supposedly through some assistant named Larry Brown. She says she's about 60% convinced it's really him, but even she admits it's weird someone would send that much money without ever seeing her face.
Who in their right mind would send somebody this amount of money?
She saved most of it and used the rest for bills and her daughter's daycare. The detective work began, and Kiana shows them a personal Facebook page for Shad Moss. But the Bow Wow fan page where this all started has conveniently been deleted. The only real lead left is the phone number she texted him on, and it's a North Carolina area code. Why would Bow Wow have a North Carolina number? A reverse phone search shows the number belongs to a woman named Renee, who has a son named Maurice, who, like Bow Wow, also has a daughter. Though interesting, nothing clearly connects either of them to the scam, and these are obviously random white people. Nev reaches out to Sandra in the MTV Media Relations Department to double-check Bow Wow's team, and surprise, there is no assistant named Larry Brown. Even more confirmation that this is a fake Bow Wow. Kiana is now devastated and listens as Nev and Max lays out the evidence. She finally accepts that she was probably catfished. They called the number and got no answer. Instead, this Bow Wow person texts back claiming he's busy filming. But the next morning, the Bow Wow they had been talking to invited them to meet in Atlanta, and they all drive 10 hours to Georgia to meet her mystery man. They pull up to Bow Wow's cousin's house, and who comes outside? It's a 23-year-old stud named D, who performs as a rapper under the stage name D Pimpin'. She was unapologetic, confident, flirty, and wasn't remorseful. She explained in detail how she used men's clothing and a realistic lambskin strap to convince straight women that she's a man. Dee saw the whole thing as harmless and even seemed proud of her ability to fool straight women. Kiana, however, was devastated and withdrawn, even telling her she's not gay. Dee claims her feelings for Kiana were real and insists she only created the Bow Wow fan page to meet women because she likes a challenge. She even seems mad at Kiana for not being able to immediately accept that she's female.
I just wish we could move forward from the situation.
I'm not gay.
Neve is skeptical that Dee could have earned $10,000 from rap gigs. They return to the house for a deeper sit-down with Dee and her cousin Fred, who reveals that he was the voice Kiana heard on the phone, and that he was just trying to help his cousin out. Dee finally admits she got the $1,000 from borrowing money from family, friends, and various women, with zero intention of paying it back. A month later, during the follow-up, Kiana revealed that she has cut Dee off completely and plans to go back to school. Dee, meanwhile, has a job and claims she was saving money to repay the friends and family she deceived. She also still hopes Kiana will eventually talk to her again. As you can imagine, this episode definitely set social media ablaze, although it was widely believed to have been engineered in part because Bow Wow was already a part of the MTV Viacom family. Shortly after the episode aired, Bow Wow responded in multiple interviews, surprisingly flattered that someone would impersonate him, calling the situation free promo. And he extended an open invitation for both Dee and Kiana to appear on 106 & Park, which BET quickly granted.
Let's talk about how somebody's actually impersonating me. Now, first of all, that's a hard thing to do. I am opening the door here at my house, and I'm inviting you to come to 106 & Park to sit down so I can ask you to. And comes to find out, this girl here was posing as me, and she was sending her $10,000. So this girl here on the left is Kiana. She's really like a big fan of mine. So the whole time she's really think that she's talking to me when really she's not. She's talking to D Pimpin'. That's her name, D Pimpin'.
Did they?
On the show, Bow Wow doubled down on his positivity, saying he wasn't angry at all. If anything, he understood the impulse to emulate someone you admire. Dee, for her part, admitted she impersonated Bow Wow for about 6 months, and she had looked up to him since childhood. Classmates even called her Bow Wow because she made music young and rocked a similar afro. BET leaned fully into the moment, not only airing the joint segment with Dee and Kiana, but also premiering Dee's music video, Stunnas, turning one of Catfish's wildest stories into a full-circle TV spectacle. After the show, Dee kept the momentum going, continuing to make music and fully capitalizing on her Catfish fame with a wave of mainstream radio interviews, magazine features, and even several small acting roles in Atlanta-based TV productions.
The moment everyone has all been waiting for. Give it up right now for D Pimpin'. Give it up for D Pimpin'.
But this is D Pimpin' from Catfish. For all those who do not know who D Pimpin' is, it's the episode where she presented Bow Wow's picture as if she was Bow Wow to a girl, and the dumb bitch fell for it.
Dee's life took an even wilder turn after her Catfish episode aired. One night while heading home from the studio, she was shot during an attempted robbery. Thankfully, she survived, and at the time, she had a fiance who took care of her throughout her recovery. And when it came to her catfishing days, Dee didn't exactly promise she'd never do it again, but she did make it clear that she wasn't interested in talking to anyone but her fiance. Despite the bizarre circumstances of their introduction, Dee and Kiana appear to have remained friendly over the years and still follow each other online, both moving forward with their lives.
The next question, what was the feeling getting Catfish, and do you still mess with D Pimpin'? No. Like, we're good friends, but I do not mess with her. I don't like girls, so why would I mess with her still? It's the homie and all, but I don't like her.
Dee continues to rap and release new music and do some small acting gigs, while Kiana pursued sensual modeling and worked as a dancer for several years before launching her own dance company, where she now teaches twerk-based cardio classes. She also works part-time as a hairstylist in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And in the end, Kiana got something out of it. She actually met Bow Wow. But it didn't stop there. You would think that after dozens of episodes and years of Catfish being on air, people would gain a little more sense. But that was not the case, because years later, all the way in season 7, we got another girl who fell into the exact same trap, convinced she was talking to a world-famous celebrity, ignoring every red flag, every sign, and every ounce of common sense. Season 7, Episode 24, Shakina and Chris. The 24th episode of Season 7 aired on January 2nd, 2019, and follows 31-year-old California mother Shakina, who believes she's been in a romantic relationship with none other than Chris Brown.
Well, that's actually Chris Brown I'm talking to.
What? As in Chris Breezy?
Yes.
As in Your Man Ain't Me? As in Run It, Chris Brown?
Yes, yes, that's him.
How are you so convinced?
I had to check his voice, and when I did, I checked when he was speaking in interviews and checked his voice on my phone. It sounded the same.
Does he ever video chat?
Video chat, he keeps it dark.
According to her, the connection began when she sent the singer a message on social media, and he replied. After giving him her number, Chris began calling her regularly, comforting her through a painful breakup after a 12-year relationship and making her feel special. Shakina insists it's the real Chris Brown because the voice sounds right to her and because the page she talks to posts photos of Chris's daughter. She's deeply in love and doesn't think she's being fooled. However, there's another woman involved. Shakina explains that Chris is allegedly in a relationship with a woman named Takoya, whom he asked her permission to be in a relationship with. He even placed the two women in a three-way call, and Shakina accepted the arrangement because she believed she was genuinely dating the superstar. Neve and Cammy can barely hide their disbelief, especially when Shakina plays them a voice message from this Chris person that sounds nothing like him.
Hey, I just want to say hi and let you know that I'm your son.
Shakina? Yes. Baby? Yes. Girl, you know me, you're my friend. That's not Chris Brown.
Still, she remains convinced. During their investigation, Neve and Cammy locate Takoya's Facebook page through the fake Chris Brown profile. They begin to suspect that Takoya may be running the entire scam and possibly has feelings for Shakina. When they tell Shakina this, she's shocked and devastated. Suddenly, a person claiming to be Chris's friend texts Neve and Cammy, saying Chris refuses to appear on the show, but urged them to come to Lansing, Michigan instead.
And you understand that the fact that we're going to Michigan to meet someone who has to come clean means it's probably not Chris. You're ready for that. You're ready to let go of the fantasy and
Yes.
find out the truth.
They fly across the country, but once there, communication goes silent until they finally receive an address. When they arrive, a young woman named Tracosi steps outside and says Chris is inside, but insists that both she and Chris love Shakina and begs them to go easy on him.
Chris, he's inside the house right now. I love you. Chris, love you.
Eventually, another woman named Janisha walks out and reveals that she has been pretending to be Chris Brown the entire time. Tracosi then admits that she was the quote-unquote friend character named Betty. Janisha apologizes, but doesn't appear truly remorseful. Her friend Tracosi says she warned her to stop, but played along because she didn't want to lose their friendship. The next day, Janisha admits she created the Chris Brown persona to escape reality after being bullied all her life, which contributed to her low self-esteem and her turn to catfishing for attention. And the fantasy just spiraled out of control. She first became interested in catfishing as a teenager after she was duped into thinking rapper Lil Wayne was sharing messages with her. At the end, they talk. Shakina is hurt, but Janisha apologizes, and they end on a somewhat understanding note. After the episode aired, all 3 participants received online harassment for their appearance. Janisha, the catfish in particular, was doxxed online with people posting her job and home address. Oddly enough, they both kind of became best friends after the show. They bonded over both having diabetes and struggling with family trauma, and Janisha says the experience changed her perspective, and also shared that they intended to focus on their friendship, and Shakina even considered moving to Lansing to be close to her.
At school, then you get bullied at home. It's not really no place you can really just say, I'm safe here, I won't get bullied, I won't get talked about. Qualities I like about her is that she's trustworthy and loyal. Like I said, I can trust her around anything. I can trust her with anything I tell her. I don't have to worry about her stealing anything from me. That they should just be themselves and don't try to hide behind somebody over the internet. Somebody brought me some edible arrangements from me to work. Basically, they're just saying that I shouldn't let myself down because I made a mistake. A lot of people make mistakes.
You be like an honest person. She don't wear 2 faces. Well,
anymore.
She also called for the public to stop bullying Janisha in a joint interview with a local newspaper. Shakina was receiving a lot of criticism online. She said, "Somebody called me an idiot on YouTube. They called me an idiot. Come on now. Other people thought they were talking to Chris Brown too. It wasn't just me." Both women carried on with their regular lives, and Janisha showcases her makeup artistry on social media. And by the looks of it, judging off of this AI-generated photo, Janisha is still obsessed with Chris Brown. But Shakina's update is actually sad. While working on this video, I found out that she passed away less than 2 years later on December 10th, 2020, after battling an illness, and her family were raising funds for her funeral. She left behind a teenage son. Those 2 episodes showed viewers how far a fantasy can go when someone thinks they're dating a superstar. But our next story was an actual cultural moment. The second episode of season 2, following Anthony and Mark, is one of the wildest, most manipulative, and most emotionally messy ones they ever aired at the time. This episode follows 27-year-old Anthony, a retired Army veteran from Houston and a Purple Heart recipient who turns to Facebook for companionship after returning home from Iraq. He connects with a guy named Mark Wells, an attractive, emotional guy from Jackson, Mississippi, and the 2 form a deep relationship despite Mark's refusal to video chat. But when Anthony travels to meet him for Thanksgiving, Mark stands him up and later delivers one of the show's most ridiculous excuses, that he was carjacked, run over, and too injured to show up, proving it with a photo of someone else's bandaged hand. Anthony, who had already discovered that Mark's photos belonged to a local promoter named Joshua, is torn between logic and longing, admitting he's 100% in love but tired of being lied to. Neve and Max quickly trace Mark's phone number to its real owner, a young man named Framel, whose personal vlog reveals he's been using a fictional persona to compensate for years of insecurity, weight struggles, and internalized shame around his sexuality.
I'm tired of this man lying to me about everything. I'm so sick of this. He's always lying to me. I'm so tired of this.
It's me, it's Josh, the real deal. Heard about what happened, just wanted to say sorry. And, hopefully in the future you'll find whoever it is you're looking for.
I love myself. I love everything about me, including the gap in my mouth from the way I have crazy.
The confrontation is tense and emotional. Anthony refuses to look at him, furious that he was made to look stupid, while Framel insists he truly loved Anthony and hid behind the character because he couldn't love himself. The next day, the tension devolves into arguments.
You want to talk to me? Because I tell you, I'm in your house and I will still pop you in your mouth. Because I'm mad. Okay. I'm mad.
But ultimately, both men find some closure. Anthony walks away hurt, but stronger, knowing he deserves honesty, while Framel admits he has a long journey ahead towards self-acceptance.
I don't know of any other way to put it.
Well, I accept your apology and I forgive you.
When the Anthony and Mark episode aired, the internet immediately turned it into one of the most talked about and memed Catfish moments of the season. While viewers were deeply sympathetic towards Anthony, they also turned his pain and crying clips into memes. They were also furious on his behalf. Social media lit up with endless parodies of Fremel, criticizing his appearance, comparing him to pop culture characters, and setting up parody profiles to further bully him. But Anthony and Fremel flew to New York to attend the Catfish reunion together, and they decided to put their differences behind them. They actually made an effort to maintain a friendship afterwards, hanging out, taking pictures, and showing that they had moved past the drama. But over time, the friendship naturally fizzled out and they went their separate ways. Fremel became dedicated to transforming his life. He started a fitness journey and has been documenting it ever since the show ended. He's shared his experiences as an adoptive father of multiple kids, his path into the medical field, buying his first home, and just genuinely enjoying life. And it looks like Fremel has found love too. So I say he has one of the best glow-ups in Catfish history. Anthony also went on her own journey. Yes, her. Because at age 36, she began her transition from male to female and documented every part of the process, from hormones to feminization surgery. She now goes by Tony Blanco, and you can follow her journey on all of her social media platforms.
Hey guys, it's Antonia, aka Tony Blanco. I'm here 4 days post-op after my lipo 360 and double BBL. I hope my scar looks okay. I hope my booty don't look too big. I hope I'm not too swollen
Season 3, Episode 2, Antoine and Tony. One season later, Neve and Max stumbled into one of the most unhinged, trifling, absolutely unforgettable plot twists in the show's history. The Season 3 Catfish episode involving Antoine and his supposedly devoted partner Tony aired on May 7, 2014. It all begins when Neve and Max received an unusual email from a woman named Carmen in Cincinnati, Ohio, not seeking help for herself, but on behalf of her cousin Antoine, who has been in a confusing and emotional 3-year relationship with a man he met through a chat line. The situation is immediately strange. Antoine has never seen a picture of Tony, does not have his phone number, and can only communicate with him when Tony calls from a private, blocked number. Despite this, Antoine insists he is deeply in love.
He is very caring and loving person. Like, you're a hater, get out of my business. You know, I'm just trying to help look out for my cousin because he deserves to know who Tony is.
When Neve and Max arrive in Cincinnati, they meet Carmen first. She gives them a lesson on how chat lines work, demonstrating how easy it is to disguise one's voice and create fake personas. She even alters her own voice during the demonstration, brushing it off by saying she has a deep voice and doesn't want to scare men away.
Hey, what's up? Just listen to your greeting, like what I heard. If you're interested, get back to me.
Message delivered.
Do you always change your voice?
Yeah, because I have a heavy voice. I want them to be attracted to me. So.
How many people do you think have fake names and maybe even
90%
voices?
of them.
Most people, right.
Yeah.
Tony does not have a Facebook page?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of.
Carmen casually mentions that 90% of the people on chat lines are lying, which ends up being ironic foreshadowing. To Neve and Max, she seems like an honest, concerned family member trying to help her cousin. They then meet Antoine, who believes Tony is his soulmate because he fell for his deep, soothing voice during late-night calls. Antoine reveals that Tony always claimed to be working long hours in construction, travels frequently, and can never meet in person. Even stranger, Tony originally called from a Cincinnati area code, but later claimed to live in Atlanta. Another unexplained inconsistency. Still, Antoine clings to hope, defending the relationship fiercely despite Neve and Max's concerns.
I want to be with him. I love him, and I care for him.
You're still happy. This how we hug. This how
The only real clue Antoine has is the first number Tony ever called from. After Spokeo.com turns up nothing, Google reveals it's linked to a woman named Diana Thomas and a relative named Anthony Thomas, whose old mugshot suggests he may have been arrested around the time he met Antoine. This leads Max to theorize Tony could have been calling from jail. But when Neve calls the number, it's disconnected. Antoine is shaken and ready to walk away, fearing Tony might be dangerous. But Max urges him to continue so he can finally get closure. That night, Tony fails to call, and the next day, the group heads out to 3 addresses tied to the Thomas family. At the last and final address, an abandoned house with a padlocked door and city violation notices, they investigate and find no sign of life.
Even if I knock, they can't open the door. It's padlocked.
It's at that moment, as they start walking back toward their cars, that the episode delivers one of the biggest plot twists in Catfish history.
Twan, the reason why you fucking stupid idiot can never find who Tony is because I'm Tony.
What's going on?
Why the fuck would you do that?
Cause that shit ain't fucking cool.
You should have never called me a fat ass Kelly Price.
You get mad off of that little bitty bullshit though.
Carmen admits to orchestrating the whole Catfish and explains that Antoine once humiliated her at a crowded gathering by calling her a fat ass Kelly Price. And she vowed that day to get revenge. For 3 years, she maintained the elaborate lie by altering her voice, calling from private numbers, and creating a fake romantic fantasy, all in the name of revenge. The tension skyrockets as Neve and Max try to process Carmen's confession. Neve becomes visibly angry, leading to a heated argument. Carmen claims that people she tricks already feel like crap, so she's simply given them more of what they deserve. Neve snaps, calling out the cruelty in her actions, and a producer of the show has to intervene.
Did I already shit? I wanted to feel
They
like
already
shit.
shit.
Did I want to feel like
just
shit?
like you already shit. You ain't shit.
That
You
your
know what
argument
I'm
is
saying?
you ain't shit, you already
Yeah,
shit.
just like
Break.
A month later, Neve and Max check in one last time. Antoine reveals that he has a new custodial job with good pay and has been focusing on his mental and emotional recovery. He says he doesn't speak to Carmen anymore and doesn't know if he will ever fully forgive her, calling her betrayal one of the deepest cuts you can feel from family. He mentioned he has begun talking to new people again, but stays away from chat lines. Carmen, on the other hand, claims she's trying to better herself by going to the gym, but insists she's done trying to make amends since Antoine never returned her calls. The episode immediately went viral, cementing itself as the most explosive and meme-worthy moments in Catfish history. Carmen's fat-ass Kelly Price motive and the emotional fallout became unforgettable hallmarks of the show's legacy. When the episode aired, the internet exploded. Viewers could not believe her level of commitment to revenge, and social media immediately turned the moment she confessed into one of the most iconic and chaotic Catfish scenes ever. Memes flooded Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook overnight. People joked that Carmen was the final boss of Catfish, and the fat-ass Kelly Price comment became a viral catchphrase that has circulated for years. Carmen and Antoine didn't speak for nearly 2 years after their infamous episode aired. No calls, no texts, no family functions. It wasn't until Neve and Max brought them together for MTV's catch-up special that the two finally sat face to face again. What could have been another showdown actually turned into a surprisingly calm reunion. Carmen apologized, claiming she had grown as a person since orchestrating the whole Catfish plot. She even admitted she regretted that the fallout caused Antoine to miss major milestones in her life. To everyone's surprise, the two were able to laugh about the chaos they put each other through. And honestly, they both still seem to enjoy the attention their episode continues to generate online. During the special, Carmen revealed that she was engaged at the time, though it doesn't appear she eventually got married. Antoine, on the other hand, still hasn't found love, it seems, but he has kept the signature look that made him a meme, the colored contacts, and the swooped side part covering that one eye. The episode is still widely referenced as one of Catfish's wildest plots ever. Carmen's outfit is also a popular Halloween costume and was even worn by social media comedian Terry Joe. And to this day, whenever people talk about the craziest Catfish in the show's history, Carmen is always at the top of the list. Season 3, Episode 4, Kid Cole. In this episode, which aired in May 2014, 19-year-old Lucille reaches out to Neve and Max after being manipulated and financially exploited by an online music producer named Kid Cole, who claimed to be the youngest producer signed to Kanye West's Good Music. What started as a supportive big brother-little sister friendship quickly turned into a costly scam. Lucille explains that she was contacted by his quote-unquote British manager named Miguel, who arranged meetups, appearances, and bookings for Kid Cole in Washington, D.C. This Miguel person constantly instructed her to cover expenses up front, including car services, hotel rooms, security, and food for Kid Cole, promising she would be reimbursed, and even offered her a $70,000 job opportunity at the label as a test for future employment. Already struggling financially, Lucille felt hopeless until she realized she was being used. Neve and Max dig into Kid Cole's online presence and quickly discovered red flags. Countless self-made profiles with fabricated production credits, a long history of fraud allegations, his real name Jerez Stone Coleman, and even a Facebook page titled Kid Cole Scammed Me. The page connects them with Loretta, a limo driver who describes being scammed after chauffeuring him around all day only to hear he got robbed and couldn't pay. She also reveals he had been homeless and had multiple fraud-related arrests.
Our company was the one that he scammed out almost $8 grand.
When Neve and Max finally confront Jerez, aka Kid Cole, he remains calm and says he does in fact work with Kanye and continues lying through his teeth. As Lucille explains the emotional and financial toll his scams caused, Jerez casually scrolls through his phone, ignoring her completely.
Just to get rode around in cars, because there are people running businesses that have thousands of dollars of bills that aren't being paid.
Then a frustrated Neve snatches his phone and throws it into the river, which obviously upsets him and he no longer wants to film the show.
How'd you do that? You've been playing people.
Production promises to replace the phone, and Neve apologizes, but Jerez only agrees to continue filming if he can prove himself by taking them to a recording studio. The next day in the studio, it becomes clear he can't operate basic equipment, and his friend, who was posing as an engineer, privately admits he doesn't know what he's doing and only set up the studio as a favor to help Jerez look legitimate on camera. With his back against the wall, Jerez becomes defensive and accuses them of trying to humiliate him on camera.
I just need to get this one.
Yeah, but for some reason it's not.
But he eventually breaks. He confesses that he grew up in shelters and foster care, and a social worker once told him he'd never become a producer. Since then, he's been constructing a fantasy life to escape his reality. Lucille, Neve, and Max give him a heartfelt pep talk, leading him to finally show emotion after years of lying, scamming, and pretending. But the chaos didn't stop when the cameras did. R&B singer Lil Mo publicly revealed that she has a personal connection with Jerez Kid Cole. Taken to Instagram after the Catfish episode aired, she announced that she was once married to his father, Gus Stone, making Kid Cole the half-brother of her daughters Heaven and God Is Love. Yes, those are their names. In the caption, Lil Mo explained that she watched the episode with mixed feelings, at first laughing at the coincidence, but ultimately feeling heartbroken. She wrote that she had witnessed Jerez essentially raise himself, with his grandmother stepping in, despite not being responsible for his care. She said she paid child support out of her own pocket during her marriage and emphasized that although Jerez made mistakes, he was not a bad person, just someone who grew up without guidance. In a later interview with the Jasmine brand, she recalled an unexpected moment when she saw Jerez riding a bike near their neighborhood in Maryland.
I don't normally watch
Catfish,
because I was like, is this show I thought it was Catfish was punked, but it was no, it's people do. You think they're one person and they turn out being something else. I said, oh, that's like Craigslist.
Yeah.
Like how people meet on the internet.
Yeah.
Or people on Instagram, they don't look like they photos. So I was like, well, maybe it's like that. I couldn't really figure out what it was. And so I forgot who texted me. It was like, yo, they said he was on TV. So I was watching it. And my heart, I got in my bag, I was really sad because I've seen him grow up. I've seen him grow up without a father. I can tell you his father was not in his life like that. And which made it so I wasn't in his life like that. So when we would see him, it was just like, hey, how you doing? It's like, I remember driving past him one day, he was like, hey, Dad. And his dad was just like, hey, what's up? Like, who you out here with? He was like, oh, we live over here now. Like, we saw him riding a bike in a town. I was like, what was he doing here? He's just always been like a loner. Yeah, always been to himself. Like, I've known him to just like the life, he's had a hard life. So like the Catfish, it was like a come up. And they were like, yeah, he was saying that he was working with all these people. And I was just like, oh man, I hope it's true. But they was like, no, that's what Catfish is about. He's not really working those people. And I was like, oh man, that's messed up. But like, overall, as being a good kid, like he's not a bad, like he's not gonna come in, yo, everybody get on the ground. It's just like, yo, that's all he knows. That's how he knows to survive. It's scamming. He ain't get that from me. Yeah. Because I was paying his child support while I was married to his father. That's why I'm just like, yo, it's a lot of people don't know, but like I wish him the best.
After the episode aired, evidence surfaced that he was still up to his old tricks, now giving interviews in Texas while speaking in a British accent.
You know, I'm hanging out with Malik from like Hot TV, and you know, I have a big show up at Club Warehouse in like Texas City tomorrow. The doors open up at 10. The show ends at 2 o'clock. So I really hope that all of you like come out and like support and everything like that. But you know, I really hope all of you come out, and I have some special guests coming, so you know we're gonna turn up. So that's it, all right. And also in May I will be in the issue of Hot magazine, so I hope you guys check that out too. God bless all of you. Shout out to Good Music, pushing the label YG, all my homies. You know, God bless you guys. All right.
In a separate case, just months after the episode aired, Jerez scammed Virginia Commonwealth University, convincing staff he had booked rapper Big Sean for an on-campus event. He later pled guilty and received a 12-month suspended sentence. But within a month of his sentencing, he took things to another level. According to Metro Transit Police and court documents, between December 2014 and May 2015, Jerez allegedly placed over a dozen false threats involving explosives, over 300 emergency calls, multiple hoax reports of violent attacks, hostage situations, and assassination attempts, bomb threats that resulted in station shutdowns, bus evacuations, and major police responses. In 2015 alone, his most extreme calls included claiming a group from France planned to assassinate President Barack Obama.
Jerez Stone Coleman, accused of pretending to be a terrorist. 11 threats on the metro system since December at stations like Potomac Avenue and McPherson Square. In one case, the 20-year-old allegedly dialed 911 to report an attack on President Obama's motorcade. Days later, he reportedly threatened to bomb a metro bus unless police paid him $15 million.
I've never had a case quite like this.
Investigators say Stone Coleman went so far as to describe one Metro bus rider as a wanted terrorist. When police stopped that bus, they cuffed and frisked the innocent man.
That one bothers me the most because he involved a private citizen, another patron, into his game of whatever he was doing.
Police arrested Stone Coleman today at a home along Fort Davis Place in Southeast, at which point he told officers he felt a sting in his chest. Were those chest pains a hoax as well?
Apparently, I don't know if they were a hoax as well, but he has been released. He didn't spend very much time in the hospital.
Last year, MTV exposed Stone Coleman, whose stage name is Kid Cole, on its hit reality TV show Catfish. At the time, he'd reportedly led a girl to believe he was a successful music producer and in turn bilked her out of thousands of dollars.
Getting him off the street is a big win for our customers, and it's a big win for law enforcement.
The investigation led the calls back to Jerez, and he was arrested in May 2015. He eventually confessed, pleaded guilty, and was sentenced to 21 months in federal prison, which he's lucky for because those charges could have landed the 20-year-old over a decade behind bars. Once he was released from prison, he jumped right back into his criminal ways. Jerez resurfaced in Philadelphia in 2018, and this time, he infiltrated a performing arts high school, calling himself Alicia Keys' DJ. Students quickly became suspicious, Googled him, and discovered his Catfish episode and criminal history.
The man accused of conning his way into a Philadelphia high school has been arrested in Virginia now for allegedly doing it again. Police in Arlington took 23-year-old Jerez Coleman into custody after reports that he was impersonating someone else. Well, when they responded, they found out he was already wanted in Philadelphia. Coleman is accused of posing as a DJ for singer Alicia Keys to give a talk at the Philadelphia High School for the Creative and Performing Arts back in May. The Maryland man was previously convicted for making threats against former President Barack Obama.
Philadelphia Magazine later reported that he had shown up to 3 different high schools in the area, and he hasn't changed much since then. There's always people popping up on social media warning people about him using different aliases and scamming people posing as music industry heavyweights. A 2020 post claimed he had been contacting recording studios across the country, booking studio time and services while pretending to be a DJ and producer for Drake and OVO Sound, and then disappearing without paying. In 2022, the state of Maryland issued a warrant for Jerez after he failed to appear for a pretrial hearing involving theft and identity theft. The last known update at the time of me making this video is that Jerez was arrested in Texas in July 2025 for a number of charges, including no license, assault, carrying an unlicensed weapon, tampering with government records, resisting arrest, giving false info, and failing to identify. Season 4, Episode 14, Felicia and Jacqueline. This episode of Catfish is a bit different because the person whose pics are being stolen to Catfish is the one that reaches out. The episode aired on July 15, 2015. A teenage girl from Pennsylvania named Felicia reached out to Neve and Max after years of being tormented by a fake profile run by someone calling themselves Jacqueline. It started as simple photo theft, then turned into a full-blown identity takeover and a campaign of cyberbullying so intense it destroyed Felicia's reputation in her town and high school. The fake profile didn't just use her pictures. Jacqueline changed her name to Felicia, added her classmates and teachers, and spent years posting graphic, vulgar content pretending to be her. People in her town truly believed the real Felicia was the one behind those messages. She was only 14 years old when it began, and the harassment lasted 2 years, only stopping for a while before suddenly resurfacing.
The only reason I know it's a girl is because she used to call me.
Whoa, what?
She would call my friends and she used to use a really high-pitched fake voice and kind of like cuss us out and tell me that I was fake and that she was the real person.
With the recent activity back and the harassment now spreading across the country, Neve and Max traveled to Pittsburgh to help put an end to it. During their investigation, they spoke with multiple victims, including 2 girls named Jennifer and Danielle, who had also been tormented by the same Jacqueline person. Jennifer even catfished the Catfish by creating a fake male profile to get close to Jacqueline. Shockingly, Jacqueline gave her the login information, which revealed the real identity behind the profile, a young woman in Maryland named Tracy, known online as Tracy Barbie. When Neve called her, Tracy answered the phone with enthusiasm. She immediately admitted the profile was hers and gleefully agreed to meet them.
Jacqueline Linkwood, that's me. I'm Jacqueline Linkwood.
When they arrived at her house, she greeted Neve, Max, and Felicia, bouncing with excitement, and the behavior only intensified. Tracy giggled through every accusation, taunted Felicia to her face, admitted she was proud of the harm she caused, and claimed she created the Jacqueline persona at the age of 14 because she was bored and wanted a double life, calling it her Hannah Montana moment. She justified her harassment by saying she didn't like Felicia and believed she deserved the hate for thinking she's a model. When Max asked if she was on drugs, she laughed and even stated that if someone harmed themselves because of her bullying, she wouldn't cry.
Oh my gosh. Oh. I don't like her. I really don't like Felicia. I think she deserves it. She thinks she's a model and she thinks she's all that. I'm still mad at her.
The next day, they met Tracy again, this time with her mother present. For the first time, Tracy appeared calmer. Her mother explained that Tracy's father had been extremely strict, but after he passed when Tracy was 11, her behavior spiraled and she refused to listen to anyone. She also mentioned that Tracy's brother was currently in the hospital and Neve drove her to visit him, and she finally opened up, admitting the fake profile was her way of coping with her father's death. In this calmer conversation, Tracy finally apologized to Felicia, acknowledging, at least on the surface, the damage she caused.
She likes attention. I like attention, good or bad. I don't care.
You never get better.
When your dad got sick, was that around the time that you created Jacqueline Linkwood?
Yeah.
2 months after filming, MTV reported that the Jacqueline profile had been deleted and Tracy was working on herself and in a relationship where she could express her feelings. But viewers were left with one overwhelming takeaway, that Tracy Barbie was one of the most unhinged Catfish participants ever featured. But instead of fading into obscurity after the episode aired, Tracy doubled down on her internet persona and built an entire online world centered around being outrageous and intentionally controversial, and she became one of the most infamous Catfish alumni ever. The same year the Catfish episode aired, Tracy appeared on the Dr. Phil show for the same extreme online behavior.
Barbie, this summer, meet Tracy Barbie. I love posting crazy things just to get people's reaction. I do what I want to do, and I don't care what people think about me. I would talk about what's going on with my life, what's going on with my body, and the fact that I want to marry a rich white guy. Will's really hot.
Oh, she's hot.
Barbie in love with the new hot guy. Barbie and Ken. Oh my God, kiss me.
So you say you like negative attention.
Yeah.
Is that why you're here?
Yeah.
So you're here to get more negative attention?
I mean, I guess.
Tracy Barbie became infamous across Facebook, Instagram, and later TikTok for her chaotic rants, impulsive live streams, and unfiltered inflammatory comments that attracted both fans and critics. She often posts train wreck content. Much of her controversy stems from rage bait, like her openly expressing anti-black, white supremacist views. Despite being a black woman herself, her repeated comments about preferring white country boys and sharing alarming content involving threats, violent fantasies, and extremist statements leading to numerous account bans. Yet she repeatedly returns with new accounts and maintains a small but loyal following.
Why do you keep looking at me like that? Are you mad at me? No. I'm sorry, what comes with me is fame. I'm on MTV. No, yes. I'm not a trap. You got me pregnant.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. I was pregnant for a month. And
you don't even know whose it was, so how the f can you say it was me?
You or Kevin?
It wasn't me.
Well, it was one of you two.
Sorry about your luck. Good luck.
Thanks. Well, I want to get pregnant again.
Huh?
I want to get pregnant again.
Then go f that Kevin guy.
Just Kevin, you know, I really want the baby's father to be Kevin. So, you know, hopefully it's Kevin's baby. And I'm so happy I'm having a baby. Ah!
Trump, we love you. Woo!
It stinks so bad. Like my breath smells so bad, but like I do not brush my teeth ever. Like I wake up, I don't brush my teeth. I kissed over 90 million hot sweat guys on over 90 million days. I don't brush my teeth. Oh, master, can you lock me in a cage? Oh, master. Oh, master, can you call me the N-word in bed? Oh, master, call me the N-word. Call me the N-word.
The Tracy Barbie decade-long rabbit hole is so deep that it would require a whole separate video for me to really give you guys a timeline of the muck she's been running online. There is a new storyline or dramatic update every time she resurfaces, and they usually revolve around relationship drama or yet another alleged pregnancy, none of which have ever resulted in an actual baby. Tracy has also dealt with legal issues and housing problems, and has only continued to become more erratic with time. Viewers have expressed their concern about her mental well-being and the dangers of making people like her famous. The most recent update I found was a GoFundMe that Tracy started, claiming she needs $1,800 to fix her car because she has no family support, is nearly 3 months pregnant with a baby whose father abandoned her, can't work without a vehicle, feels hopeless and alone, and is begging for donations so she and her baby can have a chance in life. Tracy only continues to get more erratic, and I can only imagine where she'll end up if she continues. But her behavior on and off the show makes her an unforgettable Catfish alum. What was your favorite Catfish episode? And also, who's your favorite contestant that I mentioned in this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe to BFTV for more content.